first one goes back to 1619, and there's just the history going through the 1800s, maybe 1900 even.
Up there, so it was used just for the ceremony of John V and Marianne of Austria here in Lisbon. Weren't they rich? That's why I said the golden period of our history, it's 15th and 16th centuries with the Portuguese navigators. And this is later, this room and the carriages, but you can see where we spent the money. We could use some now. Yeah. At least we have the patterns. Go in the town from one place to the other, including he would go out of the royal palace, he would cross the town with all the soldiers dressed like that following him, and he would go outside the town. Nowadays it's no longer outside the town, it is near our hotel. There was a palace to go around in Lisbon, a huge palace that is nowadays the ambassador, the
figure is on a swivel device, training a horseman who hit the shield with a lance and then had to escape before the whip came around and hit him or his horse. So it taught offense and defense at the same time. The description of this cabriolet, which is an open vehicle with a horse. The rider sat on the saddle and Fulke sat in the back. And she's about to get in now, looking for a driver's license so she can go.
It was made to put the tombs of the royal family, especially the king, inside. And that he had a lot of money, well, the whole thing was made. The reason that he gave the former monastery, which is that part over there, to the religious order of Jeronimo, is because Saint Jeronimo was his protector saint. Okay, so he decided to have the Jeronimo's community there and not the beautiful churches in Lisbon, as you are going to see. The main entrance is not here, it is on another part, but this is the most. It took like 2 hours to come here with a carriage. Okay, this was a fishing village, and the fishermen used to have their boats right here by the beach. And when the tide was up, the royal family, but as it is such a beautiful place, throughout the centuries, other tombs of other important Portuguese citizens were put here. So, for instance, the one that has the flowers over there, across this part of the church, it's the tomb and the lying statue of the biggest poet of Portugal. He died in India, and later on his body was brought to Portugal, put on a very poor tomb,
DaGama.
And then it was decided in the 19th century it was too important to be in such a poor place. So this tomb is 19th century with the remains of Vasco da Gama inside.
I'm just going to take a zoom shot of the church here. A quick one. This is the Monastery of Jeronimo. Jeronimos. It's the symbol of the Knights Templar. Became the Knights of Christ or Knights of Jesus when the Pope outlawed. Well, if you look at the Da Vinci Code again.
Okay, so there were confectional boxes, but above the doors you can see some niches on the wall that should have also some religious statues, and they are all missing. Over there, and when we were finishing the church, we had already the Spanish king, Portuguese king. The tomb is right across the transept.
Is it made in Germany, you think?
I don't know. But
look at the Strassenbahn, Fulke just noticed. Running. And as you follow it, you're going to see this huge...
very similar.
Yeah. It goes over to that fortress. Right. The oldest coffee shop
in the town.
In town.
And
she's been coming here since she was a little girl. Everybody is filing into the coffee shop here. And here, this is this old-timer coffee shop. You come in and get your coffee and have a little sweetie. And you get some stuff here. Walk through about 10 rooms to get to this back room. They're seating us here. Huge coffee shop. Some of the sweeties coming. Okay, those are the pastries of Belém. Yeah. You guys are enjoying it here too, yeah? Good stuff. That's good, yeah.
As well as the Jeronimo's Monastery as World Heritage. We cannot change it, we cannot destroy it, which I'm very glad for. On the right, show a certain influence from the north of Africa.
1991, this plane flew from here with a bunch of stops to Rio de Janeiro at night, and they've made a statue of this. see, this is the Portuguese version of the Golden Gate Bridge, and on the other side is that famous statue, which is a copy of the one in Rio de Janeiro also. It's a strong connection to Brazil. This is a fortress in the water here. Having difficulty with my background, but across the water, this is the water, and they had an identical fortress on the other side that would bombard the pirate ships. And then the king changed this and allowed the enemy to take it, and they had a way of flooding and drowning the enemy. Okay, I'm going to try to get a wipe here now. Our bus is down that way. And that's a beautiful picture there too. See if I get a... Oops. Bouncing here in the wind. The wind is blowing a little bit. And they're coming right back to this airplane. Shot of the sandbar. I guess they say that the river has risen, and this used to be an island, so maybe they just put the sand in it. And here's a nice shot of this tower, all the way up to the gun mounts and where they had their cannon. Society, this couple's been going at it for about 10 minutes here. People are taking pictures of them, just enjoying themselves. Sailboat out, little sailboat with a spinnaker of some kind. And as I zoom in from him sailing, you're going to see this beautiful castle, actually a fortress here on the river bank. And another view, beautifully done. Very Moorish. The Moors occupied Portugal for 500 years up until about 1250. They were finally shaken out of the... There's that bridge, and there's the view around this area. This pyramid indicates another fortress with some soldiers guarding it. I'll go down there, but I wanted to show the semi-tropical nature of Lisbon. Lots of palm trees, and they're right here by the river, so they get the warm breezes from the ocean. Changing of the guard going on here. The soldiers are guarding, I guess, their equivalent of the unknown soldier's tomb, right in front of that pyramid. High stepping, high swinging arms. This is one of the guards coming here. Got a little mic right by me. We're going in the guard towers. Eternal flame burning right beneath this interesting triangle here. Sort of a split triangle. Quite unique. March this thing on a continuous basis. And this is the combatant of Moor. They're mourned. The view of the fortress, the guard house, guard towers, if you will, palm trees around it, and the bridge is really a very picturesque sight. Lisbon is a beautiful city.
In 1988. Why? To commemorate the 500 years when we turned the Cape of the Good Hope in 1488, okay? And when we discovered how to get to the Orient. So the square represents, it's a map of the world. You can see little boats and dates all over representing all the places where we were. Some of Europe. We are right here, okay? From here we went to the north of Africa. We had some times. So we would do more or less this and then take profit of the strong currents to take us to that side.
Down to Brazil. The navigator, who was a prince and not a navigator, but he started the navigation school in Portugal and had a whole history of navigation of all these heroes through the centuries. Navigation around the world, Japan, the New World. Columbus was probably from his school. DaGama, sort of in order of importance in history. This is the prow of a ship, sort of like the Venus de Milo, And this is a beautiful square area. Very interesting. And there is the Jeronimo's, the Monastery of Jeronimo, St. Jerome, on the other side of the square. This is the Bethlehem area, Bethlehem. Professor Frank is giving her German lecture now, translating all of these Vasco da Gama stories.
Monday, not Sunday, because Sunday you visit the monuments, okay? Monday. And it is fun. It goes in a circle. I'll tell you where the 28th starts and where it finishes. Statue of Camões, the Portuguese poet that has the tomb at Jeronimo's Monastery. Public transportation, you put your purses in front of you, okay? So taking the usual precautions. Now we are arriving to the next stop, which is the surprise, not sweet surprise. As a matter of fact, some people find it funny, like, okay, funny, exciting, and other people going to the oldest food market of Lisbon, which is closed today, no fruit, nothing. So why are we going there, right? Because it is a huge area, so the market takes place every day except...
Came out of a market that had, changed it, that said that they're closed on Saturdays, but the dancing was fantastic. You couldn't take movies in there, but Fulke and I had a great dance. Well, we're in a main street, and here they've got one of those large TV sets advertising. I don't know what kind of car that is, but Mercedes-Benz coming up, yeah. Beautiful town. It was a purple tram. The Sintra, the natural